coming up this week, I'm going to be bringing you up to date on my 2021 challenge. That is provided that I can remember what that is. Now, if you saw my last video, it was last week and I ran 3K. Now, in the pretend world of the internet, that was a whole week ago. Yeah, it was last week's video. And this week, I'm going to go out and run a 5K. However, now things are going to get a bit weird now, so I apologise for that. As the great Doctor Who might say, things are going to get a little bit wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey, because although it was a week ago here in the pretend world of the internet, in real life, remember that? It was only 3 days ago, that's all. So yeah, don't think about that too hard because it will blow your mind. In fact, I think it's probably worth reminding ourselves what real life is, because you may think that real life is this one endless Zoom meeting. It's what it's felt like for the whole of 2020 and much of 2021 so far. But actually, no, real life is different to that. For example, if you go shopping, remember if you go shopping, that means that you sit down in front of a screen, don't you? And then you order some stuff, and maybe that stuff is kind of, you don't know what colour it is or what size it is, and it says maybe there are 3 items in stock, and you buy one and it still says there are 3 items in stock, and you think, oh, I'm being conned here. Anyway, you order this stuff, they dispatch it to you. A delivery driver comes round to your house, puts it on a rocket launcher, and it goes flying over your fence and lands on the concrete or in your neighbour's hedge. Then you take it inside, you empty the bits of what you've bought onto the floor, and you realise that it wasn't the colour or the size that you were expecting, so you package it all up again and you send it back, and it's all just so depressing. But actually, real life isn't like that. You've probably forgotten. Real life, there are these things called shops. I know. And you go into these shops, and inside they have all these things that you might want to buy, all kind of lined up on shelves and on rails. And I know it's mad. And you go in and you can pick out the things that you want to buy. And if you've got a question about the item you want to buy, instead of having to wait in a queue and speak to somebody in a different time zone, there are actually real people there in the room, actually with you in the room, real people that speak the same language, and you can ask them questions and they answer them, and you go and pay for them, and there's other real people there to speak to, and then you buy them. And if you're buying something, they don't then say, oh, as you're buying that kettle, perhaps also you'd like to buy this toaster and this food blender. No, you pay for the item and then you leave. It's amazing. That's not the best bit. The best bit is that there are these people that work in the shop. They get paid money. I know, for working there, it's crazy, it's mad, isn't it? And then they can go to other shops and spend the money that they've earned in those shops where more people get paid money for serving them, and they can have houses and families and things. And it's amazing. Everybody can kind of, it's an ecosystem of all these people like all working and earning money and living. And I think it's a great idea. I think it could really catch on. So today I'm going to attempt a 5K. It's if you haven't been watching the videos lately, it's because I picked up this slight injury. I don't really want to keep banging on about it because it wasn't much really, but it did knock me out for 4 weeks. So, I mean, not literally knock me out. I mean, I was out of action for running for 4 weeks. So I'm kind of, easing myself back in gently, which I think is a good idea. But today is a good day because I am going to attempt to do 5K, my longest run for a few weeks. I'm so excited. So without any more waffling and stupid jokes, let's just get cracking. Let's do the 5K, and I'll tell you all about it on the other side. We go, 5K complete, and that felt really good. In fact, for the first time in a while, I'm going to stick the times up on the screen, and yeah, I did fine. It was 30th minute, or the 31st minute actually, that I finished the run. The last kilometre, or a good past that last kilometre, was actually uphill, so you know, not like Mount Everest, but it was a, you know, it was a decent gradient like that. So I don't know whether I would have cracked the 30 minutes without that, but you know, considering I haven't run 5k for a few weeks, I'm chuffed by that. That's really good. I'm really happy. Okay, so let's talk challenges, because I'd kind of forgotten that I had one. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you will know that I work best, I think, when I have challenges. And normally my challenges are distance related. And I think actually distance related challenges are quite easy to quantify, really. Because if you set yourself a distance of, what today, 5k, you either do 5k or you don't. So, whereas my 2021 challenge that I'd set myself was to, quote, run a bit faster, run a bit quicker. And that's a bit vague, isn't it? But I had started doing a bit of research. There are some great videos on the intertubes and elsewhere. There's information all about how you can train your body, and as a kind of almost as like a byproduct of that, you end up being able to run a bit quicker. But, and here's the rub, because of this injury, it's kind of not my confidence exactly, but it's put me in a place where I think I don't really want to tweak things too much for a little while. So I'm not saying I'm not going to do those training programs. I almost certainly will. So if you're interested in that, do subscribe, hit that subscribe button, because I will no doubt come back to it at some point, but I'm going to kind of postpone it. However, I have been sort of thinking about what I can do, and it's interesting actually, when I sort of look back at the stats, my 5k times generally, I suppose about, you know, they were about sort of 32, 33 minutes. But when I started regularly running 10k, my 5k times actually became a lot better as a kind of byproduct. I wasn't trying to do better 5k times, but it just kind of worked out like that. It just sort of improved, which sort of makes sense if you think about it. So I did have a kind of goal in my mind for something to do this year, which was to do with all of these improving my running times, or improve my running times by running quicker. And that was, I thought to myself, it'd be really nice if I could break the hour for a 10k. And my 10k time, my first ever 10k that I did, which was in a run event, was 1:06, I think. And that was the first time I'd ever done it. So 6 minutes sounds like a lot of time to take off a 10k. However, since then, because I've done lots more 10ks, my times have been generally, I suppose on average, about 1:03. And I have had in the past, it was 1:01.46 or something like that, 1:01 and a half ish. I've got close without really thinking about it. So that would be a good challenge. I think if I could try and knock that time off, and I think I could do that without having to do too much of this extra training. It's just kind of tweaking things a little bit without going mad at the moment. And then later on, when I get a bit more confidence back and a bit more that, oh, I'm not going to injure myself again, then for a while, then I can look at all this other sort of bits of training. You may think that's not the way that I should be doing it, but I kind of think it's nice to have something to aim for, nice to have something to go for, and that gives me something which I think is within my grasp without going nuts. Does that make sense? So anyway, I'll see what I'm going to do. I'm thinking, and this is very early days on this challenge at the moment, of this revised challenge, but I'm thinking that what I did, because my 5k time improved when I started doing 10k, perhaps what I should do is build up to, instead of doing it to 10k, build up to doing 12 or 13 regularly, and then that might improve my 10k times. I don't know. So I'm thinking about it. It's kind of still mushing around in my brain at the moment. And yes, I have got one of those, and I'll just kind of see where I go with it. But for the next few runs, I think I'm just going to kind of, go a bit easier. Anyway, that's enough waffle. I'm going to go now, go back, and have a shower, do a bit of stretching, all that stuff, but not in that order. And I thank you so much for watching, as usual. Do leave your comments. If you haven't subscribed, please do hit the subscribe button, and I will see you for another update next week. Thanks for watching.